So I'm here with digital creator Onika Nou. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you so much for taking the time. You came to my attention because you had commented on a post on Facebook, and it went viral where it was like on Twitter, it was on Facebook. I actually saw it on Facebook. And let me read it. It says, females are no prize. Be realistic. Half of us ran through at a young age. Half of y'all want a man to pay all of your bills and expenses, hair, nails, outside food, etc. Half y'all messy as fuck to the point you can't see the floor in y'all bedrooms, can't clean it all. Dishes be in the sink for days, weeks. Half y'all abusive as hell and thinks it's so cute. Half y'all hop in a new relationship or situationship quick as hell and be insecure the entire time about the relationship and start acting controlling. Half of y'all don't feel anything but lust for your man. Half of y'all will cut off your man for taking advice from his own mama. Half of y'all don't know what the fuck you need and want and don't trust him the entire time because of your own insecurities. And you treat a man like he's the one that played you in the past when he could in fact change your life and be a motherfucking blessing. Half y'all don't let them have their own peace, sleep for hours, drink a little, be on the game for hours after work, go out with his friends. Don't even let a man hold the door for a lady without getting mad, calling them friendly. Go out and ask these men out, pay for their gas, pay for their meal, open the door for them once in a while, be the driver instead of passengers sometimes, give them random gifts. Y'all get rejected by a man once and start calling them names, LMAO. Taught these men that no means no and can't be mad that they're starting to learn their worth. What's really on your mind? You know, a lot of people attacked you for that.
Yeah, I don't really care too much for the hate, but so it was just really like in response to the original post, it said women don't chase men anymore, right? And all the comments beneath it were like, if I say no to a man, it means come try harder. Like, it means come apply pressure, come do this, come do that. Men aren't a prize. Like we don't need y'all men. Well, why would you want a man to chase you if you don't need them? Like it dawned on me like we used to consider men pressing us as sexual harassment, stalking even. So I didn't really understand that. So, I put my 2 cents in of like why men don't chase anymore. And my biggest thing with that is these little boys will chase you, but these men won't because they know they worth now.
Right. And I guess people though were calling you a pick me because of like what you were saying about
Yeah.
specifically holding, the door more than once in a while. Some people were really upset about that.
Yeah. And so like I gave a couple examples and they still weren't having it. So I'm like my fiance, he will not let me hold the door for him, right? And he will literally be carrying maybe like boxes and boxes of shit. But me, I'm gonna still do it because like say for instance, we get out the car, right?
Yeah.
If I run up to the door faster than him, why the fuck am I just gonna stand there looking dumb, waiting for him to open the door, right?
Yeah. I was doing my research and
Mm.
stuff, everything. I saw that you were in a relationship and you were talking about how you used to be 346 pounds and your boyfriend actually was with you through your weight loss journey.
Yeah, he was. So um when I met him, I was actually working at an Amazon warehouse. So that's when I actually started losing the most weight. Of course, it's a warehouse, you're doing a lot of work. And I started loving myself and seeing my worth. And that made me lose even more weight. And he didn't care about what I look like, no matter what. Like to this day, he don't care. It's all about personality. It's all about the mindset.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times, like, especially in today's age, a lot of women are just focused on money. And you were saying, that he had actually helped pay your bills. You didn't want anything in return.
Mm-hmm. So he kind of tricked my ass. I didn't like him at first. And one day, I just wanted to be his friend. So one day he hit me up, so I got a Cash App card, how do you use it? So I like screen recorded my stuff and I was like, so you go here if you want. I basically explained the whole app to him. And now he only did that just so he can see my cash tag. And since I was single, I was living by myself. I was a teenager at the time because I got kicked out of my mom's house.
Mm.
So he just sent it, and we played a little back and forth thing, and eventually I was just like, I'm gonna accept it because I'm not a kid, so I accepted the help. and I took it, and he did not care. That's like it's not about the money for me,
Yeah. You shared like, that you also like lost your first baby. I saw that post. I'm sorry that that
Yeah.
happened to you. Are you like
Oh,
trying
we've been trying for another one, but life is not really taking its course. So
Yeah, you have some like really interesting takes and stuff. I think you talk about a lot of things. There's a lot of like people that post like ratchet comments and you kind of like, say like, that this isn't like, okay.
mhm.
I think like one of them was like, shout out to my baby dad for like, what I'm saying, watching the kids while like, like, what I'm saying,
Get her ass clapped. Yeah.
yeah. What is it that bothers you about posts like that?
One, I feel like if you trust the father of your kid enough to babysit, one, it shouldn't be called babysitting. Two, the whole baby daddy, baby mama thing is just outdated. Like, I just think it's ugly at this point. It's ghetto. So if you're trusting your kid with the father, why can't it just be, I left my kid with their father, Because that's what it is, right? It's a dad. Like, the whole baby daddy narrative, baby mama narrative is ugly at this point. And second, what, like, it's just the way that she put it out, getting my ass clapped.
Yeah.
Like, one, I just feel like it's disrespectful towards the father, and it's disrespectful towards your child. And when I say that, it's, my mom was kind of a hoe too. So I grew up and I saw a lot of things that just, kind of disturbed me. Like, when you grow up, you don't want to see like, oh, so the only reason my dad was watching me was so my mom can go get fucked, right? And it's
Yeah.
one thing when, you're in a relationship with this person, but the way that she worded it just sounded like a little sneaky link. So you chose your sneaky link over being with your child.
When you say your mom was a hoe, like was she like really like actually like a prostitute or like
No, she was around. My mom had me and my sister very, very young. She was under 18. And so we grew up kind of just with each other, but with a lot of random strangers as well. So we met our fair share of men in her lives. And so I do respect her in that post for not bringing her kid around that man, but it's still the fact that you chose to go get fucked, get your ass clapped, and instead of being with your child, and you go to social media to make a joke about it. When your kid is going to see that because it went viral, that one post went viral. Out of all posts you make, you know.
you talk about online though about like bringing like men around your children and like not
Mhm.
like posting your children and stuff on social media and stuff because of sexual
Yeah,
users.
yeah. I
Have,
just I feel like it's something that's accepted too much, and people see it as a joke. Like, if you are telling your child to go change before a man comes over, you know what you're doing. You know what type of man that you're inviting in the house. Um, you know, I think a lot of families, they also excuse child abusers, regardless if it's a man or a woman. And to be honest, women get away with more.
yeah. You talked about like what I mean, women like being physically abusive towards men, like and I applaud that. Like I think about like the Jonathan Major situation that just happened in the news, where like it's being reported that like she made like these false allegations and stuff, everything, and he gets arrested and goes to jail, and like that's probably more commonplace than people probably think, because women sometimes are abusive.
Hmm. Honestly, I don't think it's so. I think anything can be abuse. If
Yeah,
you get into a disagreement with someone that you love, or even just someone that you're talking to, and you start calling them out of their names, you start pushing them a little bit, that's physical and verbal abuse right there. That's, you can easily mentally and emotionally abuse someone and try to get away with it, and it can fuck them up for their entire lives. And that whole Jonathan Major shit, I didn't really catch up with it just because of the fact that too many people are focused on that rather than around the same day, a whole woman killing her husband, or I don't know if it was her husband or the father of her children, on live Facebook.
yeah.
And not too many people are worried about that, but they're worried about something that could be false allegations. But we don't know yet because none of us were there, none of us are in the
Right.
situation.
No, 100%. How do you like, keep yourself like, from like bringing like, some of your past traumas or situations in your relationship?
Honestly, there was a few times that I did, and it wasn't too much of a so like I'm gonna be very transparent because of the fact that I was sexually abused as a child. There can be a lot of effects on that. So like my sister, she became extremely prude. She did not want to be touched. However, me, I became very hypersexual. I started thinking, and that's why in my post I said half of us I ran through. Yes, I included myself because I'm not innocent in that. Because of the fact that when I was younger, I was put in the mindset of a um the only way a man can love you is through sex. That is the only way to show love. And so I did have that up until, I was shown differently. So I was not trying to, make these women look bad. I was putting myself into their shoes as well because some of those traits, not all, but some of those I did carry as well when I was younger.
How
So,
did you lose that trait though? Like, and find out like, that there was more to love than sex.
um, more I started having to love myself. I stopped having to worry about how other people love me, if that makes sense. They like sat down and it took a very long time being like, what makes you love yourself? How are you happy going out with the way you look, the way you dress? How can you make yourself feel better? And so that's kind of how I got away from it. And I started realizing, like, I don't want just that. And then I started seeing it as if people are only using me for my body. I started looking at myself as an object instead of a piece that was loved. So
That's
that's kind of
beautiful.
how I got away from that hypersexuality. So there's
That's
that.
beautiful. That's beautiful, Annika. A lot of people say you're a catfish. You know,
You think I'm a catfish? You looking at me now?
no, 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 not at all. Like, what is it like though dealing with like, the negativity of social media?
Honestly, I would say in the past, and my fiance will vouch for this. In the past, I would be sensitive. I would be crying right now. Um, and I would also be very reactive because I used to be that girl that you cannot say shit to. If your opinion was different from mine, I would have a rebuttal. I would argue nonstop. I would probably be on my phone all day long, just going back and forth with people. I would be crying in my own time. But now I'm at the point of my life where, because I was bullied majority of my life,
Okay.
not only by random strangers, people at school, but I was also bullied by my family, and I even bullied myself. If we're being completely honest, I feel like everyone does once in a while. But I had to learn when it comes from other people and even family, one, it's okay to cut off family because they can be the most toxic things for you sometimes. But when it comes to random people, especially like my platform, majority of the people are not even in the same state. So regardless of what they say to me, I will not be speaking to them tomorrow. I will not ever see none of them in real life. And none of them know the real me. They got, some assumptions off of a paragraph that I wrote, the page that I own, because it's all text, right? So miscommunication, misinterpretation, they take it how they want it, and that's all them. That's not me. So you can't
Most,
be mad at it.
oh, you live in Kansas City. Like, what's it
Mhm.
like living there?
Oh Lord. So I'm actually from KC Mo. It's like right across state line, and I've been juggling back and forth through both cities my entire life. But I will say the main thing about being out here, it's kind of like any other city, right? People want to see you fall. They will take their entire lives to help, support each other and build each other up. But they'll take 2 seconds to take down an entire, business, to take down a person, to bully a person just because of one incident. I will say everyone out here does know each other. That is a fact. You can walk down the street and you know someone. That's why there's this thing where people say like um there was this viral post that said like the entire city of Kansas and like is in like a polygamous relationship or something like that, right? And it's funny to me because of the fact that yes, there's a lot of people out here that have shared partners because of the fact that it's not exactly a small area, but at the
Right.
same time it is. Everyone out here knows each other. And so
Right.
I will say, um, I do love it out here though. I mean, it has its flaws, but everywhere does.
Right. Most definitely. What's next for you?
Um, Honestly, I don't know. I'm just living life. He's my fiance has put in my head, stop thinking too far ahead because I stress myself out. So I'm now trying to put myself only in the present, but I still got goals here and there, but we'll get to them later on in life.
Most definitely. Thank you, Annika, for taking the time. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Most definitely.